for the love of freaking.
All right. Hello, everyone. Fangs of Fire are here. Welcome back to another Duel in Dark Call match. This match is between Randiv of Team Newsfair 2, playing as the Hunters, versus Andrezot of the Team Cagliari Carbonara Special. And joining me today in the commentators, in the co-com seat, is Skybreaker 96. Thank you for coming, Sky.
Oh, glad to be here. This is going to be a fun tournament, and I like the idea behind it because I think that this additional functionality of the Dark Call card is going to add some shakeups to the meta.
Yes. And it's also, I've experienced it in practice matches. I haven't played any tournament matches yet, but I've experienced, it's a tugging sensation at the back of your mind, knowing that, do I do it? So the temptation is always there. It definitely, has, if nothing else, even if you don't want to do it, I imagine that you're not exactly happy to see that, are you, Sky? For those who are not following, Sky had a game just a couple hours ago where there was constant combat between him and his opponent, and Aggie would have definitely been very welcome. Oh, Harker, this is why this actually happened in your match too. I always search with early ally, or no, not your match, but another match that happened yesterday. I think I always search with Rufus and Aggie early. In week 1, even if it's just the one spot, because there's always the chance that you'll find a different one, and getting us one surprising return isn't that hard. One last thing for intro purposes: Snuffleupagus, Andrezot's teammate, will be joining us. Joining in a little bit of the way in, just so you know. And of course, as always, do let me know if there are any problems regarding audio and such. I hope that now that I'm a bit more now that I've gotten more, I was seriously out of practice when the tournament began, but now that I've done some streams, hopefully things will go smoother. Whoa, okay, it's Dark Call right off the bat, eh? I disagree with it because it means that you can't misdirect your starting location before, or it is vulnerable to newspapers.
Yeah, that is a risk you run. However, at the same time, I find that in the tournament, the momentum of your games can be ultimately determined by just what happens to come onto the top of the event deck, right? And maybe you choose to Dark Call early and gain advantage of that card and put it in your pocket for later down the road, right?
Yes, I agree with if you are going to do it early. But I am of the opinion that you should first lay down your first batch of stuff. Like, say, for instance, you lay down a Vamp, Hide, and then Dark Call, because things are going to be vulnerable anyway. And now you have a Hide, like a rumored Vamp, so when it goes off, okay, Evil Presence, when it goes off, you get back Hide, you get back Dark Call, so you're really not losing much when it matures. That's that's a very classic Drac problem, starting with a rumored Vamp, you know? So by doing the Dark Call, when you make it so that you lose a little less, and since I've been part of the community for 2 years, for the past 2 years, I've been training myself to be able to win without Drac events. So I don't. So on occasion, like during practice games, I have done it. Like if I'm in a tight spot, like as desperate last throw of the dice, but that I'll find something that'll help me, but it's not something, but it's definitely not something that I will do too casually. Definitely not as casually as that.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, and like most definitely not before I have my first batch of stuff down, whatever that may be.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I was commenting on in my introductory video when this tournament started was that I think a lot of veterans are going to get shaken by this in a way that's slightly different than maybe some of the newer players are going to get shaken by it. Because every person in the current meta that plays is highly disciplined and doesn't really allow Dracula to get many event cards into their hand. They're going to be kind of in a mindset where they're going to expect that there's going to be no extra surprises coming out of Dracula's hand. But now that the Dark Call has this extra functionality, I think that when you're depending on the momentum of the game, anytime you have the opportunity to Dark Call and grab the top card of the deck whenever it's feasible, I think you should. Even if that means it puts you at risk of being discovered by not using the misdirect in the first week. Because what if the first card you grab out is Emmanuel Hildensheim, and then you get to really dredge the deck for a whole bunch of Dracula cards? Then your gamble would have paid off immensely.
Yes, but
even a Wild Horses isn't even the worst thing in the world. And if you could break even by getting sensationalist press, to be honest with you. I mean, yeah.
I get point taken, but what I really dislike about it is how you had to flood your hand with encounters. I mean, you've likely seen my Desecrated Soil stratagem before, yes?
Oh, yeah, for
sure. That's what I like most. Slight spoiler onto my methods is to just keep consistent in cycling encounter cards. And hello Snuff, welcome. What? I don't know what happened, but that did not come through clearly at all. I'm afraid.
There we go. I think that's better.
Yeah,
there we go.
When you first came on, you sounded a little bit like Shodan from System Shock.
I don't get the reference. Should I get the reference?
No, you shouldn't get the reference unless you. Well, I mean, whatever. It is. I made a reference to a very old, murderously difficult video game.
In any event, as I was
the OG.
Nice. As we were just discussing, we were just discussing the effects of Dark Call and when you should and shouldn't do it. But as I was saying to Sky here, I tend to value encounter economy more than the Drac events, because Desecrated Soil can leave a lot of uncertainty as to what I have and as to what sort of encounters I may have, especially if it happens right after Behind the Veil. It can be really nice. I value the encounter economy more than a single Drac event. So, and since Dark Call kind of messes up your encounter economy, it doesn't seem so on the surface, but it does actually make you get stuff slower. Oh, well now. Okay then.
That's not great.
So you say, but honestly, after the brutal beating you gave Spencer, I'm hoping Randiv will get some to compensate.
Yeah, you may have. Sorry about that. You may have mentioned that I was coming on, and if you did, you probably mentioned that I'm Andrezot's teammate.
Indeed.
So I am not a neutral commentator. I am heavily biased. So
yes.
Well, at least you're honest about it.
Yep.
Yeah. Unlike Strider, you may recall all that at particular match Snuff where it was Orocomania saying for neutral perspective, but then Strider just I'm not sure if you will get the reference, but back last year, when basically, in other words, the game I defeated Scott Sword. Do you recall all that neutral perspective? So-called neutral.
I don't.
Well, whatever. One way or another, I am hoping Randiv wins, but I don't. I not only due to the fact that you gave such a brutal beating, even if you hadn't given that brutal a beating but still won, I would hope that it would break even 1-1 for board reasons.
So let me say this. I like the Dark Call for the encounter. I don't like it before you place the first encounter. Now it matters less because Andrezot was found out, which makes it more likely that this first encounter doesn't mature. But I do want to put at least one encounter down before I start trying to fish for the Drac event and going with the Dark Call, because I usually want to try to mature the first encounter if possible.
Yeah, that's precisely the sort of thing I was saying with to Sky. If I am going to do a Dark Call early, I would do something like probably rumored Amp Hide then Dark Call.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I do, to be the dissenting voice here. In the practice games I ran with my teammate before we went live with this tournament, I tried as a Dracula player.
Was that a Night Supply?
Yes. Randiv said, oops, I think it was an oops Night Supply given Drac a card.
Okay.
So now Andrezot has 2 Drac events.
Neither of which prompted any sort of immediate play, so that's neither is Roadblock, Sunstorms, Vampiric Influence, etc.
Yeah. Now you're just giving it away. No, but to getting back to what I was mentioning before, it like when I ran a few practice games and had the opportunity to play the Dark Call as my first card on the trail, I had absolute garbage in my hand, like nothing that was worth committing to the board for an early mature, right? So in that instant, it might have seemed a little bit more appealing to try to play the Dark Call, because why not, right? Get a good event or a Dracula encounter into your hand, get something that you can actually work with rather than be forced to play with the trash you've already got. But then it kind of forces you to stay as a land-based strategy, so you can ditch those extra cards into layers and whatnot. And to see, it worked just fine for me. I mean, I still was able to come out on top.
Other scouts, huh? Okay.
Well, we know this is going to be useful, unfortunately. Okay.
Oh, well then. Okay.
I think you may have cursed me by asking for the reverse of my game with Spencer. Oh, yeah, looking at the chat, Pizza, it is me, Snuff, and it is also Sky. It is not Aruk. But I appreciate the comparison. Aruk is an absolute champion. So, thanks for tuning in, Pizza.
Yeah.
P-dub.
Yes. Eavesdropping on my commentary so you know how I think, eh? He's Wizard?
Sure. Go with that. I'm sure that is 100% the reason.
For those who may not be following why I'm saying that, just tomorrow, Pete's Wizard and I have our first match of the tournament, as he and I drew that the draw just ended with he and I facing first. So...
So this situation does make a move to Zagreb less appealing, because you could get double teamed easily, since the hunters will know you're there. Normally, like, I don't know.
I think that what I would likely do in this situation is, and this will likely sound a bit weird, but I would likely do wolf form to Sajed, because they will likely think, because the hunters will likely think that you are, I mean, they have to consider you going to places like Sajed is one of those spots where, like, when they get, since the horse hunters seldom move except by horse, the last game I recorded being an exception, eh?
Oh, don't rub the salt in the wounds or too early, man.
So
yeah, fair enough. But in any event, as I was saying, since it's typically by horse, you would typically move to Klausenburg or Sarajevo early. So, and then you perhaps he could also be doing an Athens, like Athens, Valona, Salonika, just stay on the coast, be ready to move away, that sort of thing. There's basically make there be more possibilities and use and take a spot that's usually not that's less frequently used. Basically, is what I was thinking when I said that. And I know psychic scan's a thing. But you were going to say stuff?
So normally when I start in the East, and especially when I start in Varna, I'm doing it because I want to set up a situation where it's hard to get to the Maturithek, so I'll do like a bodyguard and a hoax or a vamp or something in Varna Constanta, and I'll try to put like a bats in Sofia and just like make a little wall, little fortress, Thracian ghost.
Yeah, that does make sense.
And when I'm in the middle, I try to obfuscate by, moving around and like wolfing random places. And Andrezot's in this odd position where he's not really well set up to do fortress.
Unless he has already done so, because Sarajevo is a natural horse destination, so he could have laid down lay down a bats there.
I think I'd probably go. I kind of like the idea. The problem is if you start to build up that fortress more, you'd go Belgrade, you'd go Bucharest, right? But then you have Sofia in the way, so it makes it harder to exit. I prefer to exit from Valona or Athens than Black Sea Coast if I can help it. Here, I might go Valona and start moving west that way, because then the hunters are going to have to split their attention between Italy and the east, and at least, even though they know where you're going, at least maybe you can give them two different areas to have to deal with, have to split them up. That way, if you do get landed on, you can take a 1v1. I think that's probably what I would do.
Well, I disagree with, not with that's what you would do, but whether that would be a good idea. Obviously. I think that you would be better, because here's the thing. And here's something that Pizza and I have chatted on quite a bit, so this isn't giving anything away to him. When it comes to dealing with those things in Varna, Mina and Gul'dan will have to get out of your way, or at least one of them will. So you can, if necessary, you can like step on Mina. So therefore, I would stick around in Austro-Hungaria. If they choose to engage you can at least move around it. And as this is basically this is one of the better areas for obfuscation in the east. So I would likely just go if you're not going to wolf form, go Belgrade, Klausenburg or Szeged, then Budapest. More likely than not.
Yeah, Scott, what would you do in this situation?
Well, I was thinking something very similar to what Fangs was saying. Backtrack to 6, and then wait and see when the hunters come, which way they might come for you. And it looks like they're not really prepared to deal with with Dracula quite yet, because they're still supplying. Like they don't feel any pressure. They're trying to get their ducks in a row. But at least if you're sitting on 6. And by the look of this trail, the hide card hasn't been played. You backtrack to 6, you hide on 6, and then if they move out of position, then you can kind of swim upstream, so to speak, and pass past them with your wolf form, or make it seem like that's what you're going to do. Okay, so Mina's just played a chartered carriage, so she's
that'll be to Constanta.
Yeah.
I have to imagine if I'm Mina, I'd probably want to go to Constanta, huh?
Oh, I think that may be a mistake, because this could... Bats, no. Or...
Maybe a saboteur?
Well, assuming that they had bats.
Yes.
Yeah.
But, yeah, fair point.
I mean, Andrezot might have wanted to wait to put the bats in Sarajevo, thinking that the horse approach to Varna was more likely. So it's not, like, critical that you put the bats in Sofia. I'm just kind of, like, rooting for my guy.
Yeah, I likely, if I were hunting here, have charge carriage to Constanta, so that you can make sure to get to the rumor token. I'm assuming that Mina has a stake for him to be saying Mina with this.
Yeah, she's probably got the best gear to handle the rumored what could be a vampire.
Yeah.
What would be a nightmare for her if she turns over wolves or gypsies, the Sagani mob?
That's a cool question.
That wouldn't actually be so bad. Oh.
Stake first. Oh, it is bats. It is bats. Well done. Now, here's my question. Stake versus seduction.
Doesn't work.
How does that work? It doesn't work?
Yeah, Mina would have died. Which, to enlighten any who don't know what seduction is a drag event which you play it when someone searches a spot with a vampire. You take the vampire back into your hand, but the hunter gets bitten. And of course, when someone gets 2 bites, apart from Van Helsing, and Mina starts with one, they get sent to the hospital and lose all their stuff.
Yeah, and that's going to be something that I think a lot of the veterans are going to get shaken up by, because they might forget seduction is a card. Like, obviously they know it's a card, but they might forget that it exists in the game, and they might make plays with Mina that they might not otherwise make if the situations looked different, you know? But additionally, I've always been told, like, rule of thumb, is that if you see that Dracula has an event card in his hand, that you have to be very cautious whenever you do anything with Mina. So they might just be disciplined enough that way to just sort of expect. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I assume that's because Gul'daming wants to, like, be present. Like, for instance, if this is a new vampire, for instance, like, he wants to be there to support Mina if she gets steered into a sticky situation. I think is the reasoning behind that, which I can definitely get behind that.
And not to mention the fact that Seward is kind of coming up to plug the gap there, and
precisely
kind of,
and that's the weakness behind it, like, staying there. I think now would be the time that I would wolf form, because for now you have given them the option that you have Hayanet Zagreb and could be jumping over.
I think he's got an aristocratic vampire there. That's probably why he pushed him away.
That, and or just, it pushes. Any vamp. He's seen that she has a stake.
Yeah, that's true. But the thing is, even at least the fighting vampire has a chance to fight for its life, right?
Yes and no, in the sense that with a stake, there's no fight in the first place. Yeah. Apart from an ambush, which will seldom do much. Yeah, good move. I was thinking about this. Because now he doesn't know for sure whether being will have the stake or not. So I like this trade. Now they don't know for sure.
Church. Okay.
Yeah, always play the shell game when you can mix up your inventory for sure.
Yeah, even if you trade nothing, that's a little bit helpful, just to muddy the waters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm hoping at this point, though, that that Andrezot is of the same mind as I am, and I'm hoping he went to Valona and hid, and can now go west across the Adriatic. Because now you've got 3 hunters around, and I'd rather you not have to use the wolf form if you can avoid it. I'd rather you save it for when you leave the sea movement. And I like Adriatic a little bit better than going to Ionian because it's less sea movement, you know?
But less distance is the problem.
Yeah, and you feel free to disagree with my take on this, but I find that the oceans are a lot more. Even though Dracula has to take some damage to go onto them and use them to move, they are far more beneficial for his movement than they are for hunters. Like, even if he did decide to go down to Athens and then take a ship and then land on Cagliari right now, just let's think crazy here, right? The hunters are so far away from the shorelines that it'll take them forever to mobilize and get over there.
Interesting.
And I mean, sure, he can only stay there for so long, but by the time you've overstayed your welcome, you're already on the move again.
Yeah, but I wouldn't go for Urkag at this stage of the game, but I would definitely probably do Ionian, Tyrrhenian, then Wolf form onto the mainland.
Yeah, into Marseille from.
Couple of thoughts. One, do we think that he misdirected Sophia because he's going to Sophia right now? Which, if he doesn't get jumped on, wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. That's interesting. And also, just to comment on Pizza Wizard's comments, he is saying Godalming can get to Varna now, which is true. It looks like is what's going to happen. Pizza Wizard also says it's nice getting Stewart in Bordeaux at the beginning. He can get to Munich with horses in just 2 moves. Pizza Wizard repping his Pizza Wizard start.
Yep. It is true. It is true.
Yeah, I haven't been doing it, but I get the pros and cons. His last statement is that Skybreaker is correct that ocean movement is bad for hunters, and I agree. There's a reason. There's a reason Drac takes damage from sea movement.
Yeah, and also there's a reason that there are 2 excellent weather cards.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I read the book. I read the novel. I read it annually. It's like, trust me, I understand thematically why Dracula takes damage when he goes to sea. It's not a oh man, that sucks. I wish it didn't have to happen that way. No, it does. It has to happen.
Didn't have a fangs to get a point. Unfortunate.
No.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes your best intentions with an ambushing vampire are ruined by just a crappy draw.
Yep.
Who's ever been in a situation where you draw 2 plottings, 2 escape as bat, and escape as mist? It's happened to me once.
I've been in just as bad a situation, ambushing with a reckless and having in fact this happened just a few days ago when I was in a practice game with I believe it was I believe I was doing a practice game with Combat Wombat, and I ambushed with a reckless, only to receive a double bat, double strength, and a plotting, which of course for ambush purposes is absolutely useless. So I've experienced at least just as bad in terms for.
There's the bad horse. Why couldn't we have gotten that last turn? Or last move? Tragic.
Yeah, but the fact that Godalming escapes says that he has a stake, that possibly the very stake that Mina had.
Yes, I'm saying that I wish he drew a yellow one on his horse move so we couldn't get there.
Yeah.
Absolute tragedy.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of stakes, there is one in the discard. So they are already down 1 stake. so to speak. I suppose maybe we'll just search. Just deal with it. Okay. That's not the worst. I mean,
it's nice that it's searched.
Yeah, I mean, and well, she has a rifle already showing, so that's actually one of the better things that could have been there for those circumstances.
Yeah, the saboteur is, well, I mean, here's the thing. Killing a day action is much better than killing a night action.
Yeah,
and so I'm kind of happy that the search happened. Even if it cleared. I'd rather have it cleared than have, like, multiple people get ambushed with it later. I mean, I'd rather have it...
It was there. So, actually, that's helped him.
Oh.
So,
no.
So he should have held the bats back.
Seduction.
He should have held it back. He should have not done the bats.
He should have moved Mina to the space. I mean, that'd be a little too obvious, but...
Hindsight being 20/20 on that one. Oh boy.
Yeah, I've already said it. I've said it before, but one thing I have been wanting to see is just us except hitting Mina sometime this tournament.
Man, if that hit Mina and
that would have...
Well, Godalming gets to keep his stake at least.
Yeah. Which he revealed horse and vampire lair. So, a win-win-ish, especially if there's a blood transfusion about.
Well,
that's actually...
Yes.
That's actually, I think, on the whole, much better for Randiv than it is for Andrezot.
Here's a fun little thought experiment. Now that we're playing in a tournament where the likelihood of a Dracula event card coming into play is more likely, think of all the Hunter events that don't get played because of disciplined play style. Like for example, Good Luck. When has Good Luck ever really been a card that comes into play, right? It'll knock out roadblocks. It can discard the... if Dracula decides to make one of his allies permanent, like, keep them around to keep doing a thing, like, Good Luck just got a hell of a lot better, you know?
Yes. Yeah, likewise with blood transfusion for this very reason.
Yeah.
It is slightly more likely. Admittedly, there's only one of seduction, where Good Luck, however, maybe... I mean, Long Night still remains the worst event by far. Just absolute garbage.
Yeah, I mean, thematically, it had to be included in the game for thematic reasons, obviously. But it's definitely not a card that's gonna... Like, the only way I can see it being useful, and I've seen a lot of players play it this way, is that they use their... when Van Helsing gets their hands on Mystic Research... They play the Mystic Research, but they don't supply through the revealed information, and then they use Long Night to reposition their hunters closer without the risk of giving Dracula an event. But it's only, how can I put it? It's only situationally useful, and it's very situationally useful. So it's still not really as good as it could be. But
I think it's
sorry.
I think it's people that it's dawn only. If you could play it at dusk, it would be more helpful because you could more consistently know when you need it.
Yeah, precisely.
And because you can use it. The one time I've used it, I used it to
that's interesting.
Arrange hunters so that Drac would need to walk onto a hunter. Sometimes you'll have a situation where Dracula's movement is limited, and it can be helpful in that way. And even if I can ensure that Dracula has to walk onto a hunter, I will take the risk of drawing a Drac event. I mean, depends, but usually, right? But the problem is you have to know at dawn that you're going to have that situation. And a lot of times you're still guessing roughly between, between 2-3 spaces where Drac might be. So you won't know at dawn whether you'll be able to create a situation like that with Long Night or not.
Yeah.
So
I guess the counter argument is that what does it hurt to play it and not use it? You know,
that is even it does hurt in the sense that that's one of an event less that Dracula has to worry about. Because
I would just like it to be a bit more useful.
Oh, that's interesting. Van Helsing just discarded a blood transfusion.
Okay. Well, that's good for Andre because having the bite on Godalming is helpful.
Yeah. And on Godalming in particular, that can be nasty. It would appear as if he's looped up north, went to Belgrade, and then looped up north through Klausenberg because he didn't misdirect until he had already laid down that second one. Unless I'm mistaken.
If he is in... Can he be in Vienna right now? If so, this would be a good time to wolf. There's a lot of places you could wolf too.
If he went from Klausenberg to Budapest, then to Vienna, yeah, I think he could very well be there for sure. I'm almost curious whether or not the misdirect of Sofia is so that when maybe he's going around the back end of the castle to Galatz, and then he'll wolf over Godalming.
I guess.
Yeah, but
I hope he's not there. I hope he's not there, but if he is, obviously he's going to wolf form regardless. Yeah. So
honestly, I would if I am in Vienna, I would just normal move to Munich, because if you wolf form, you kind of just announce that you're there.
Well, if you were in Galatz, you'd have to wolf form too. So I don't think you're necessarily announcing it.
Well, yes, that's
really regardless of where he is, the wolf form would be helpful.
Huh? Okay, apparently he's not exactly in favor of cycling layers. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what he's doing, but with this repeat misdirect, but okay.
Yeah.
No, I think what's more likely than not is that he's gone to Klausenberg, he's gone to Budapest, and he's gone to Vienna. And now he's probably working his way over to Munich, and possibly even which direction he goes from there, it's anyone's guess, I guess. Probably would want to go down to the southern coastline.
Yeah, I guess if only... Well, it would make you less likely to be found quickly, because obviously Helsing could just walk onto you if you went north. But I might try to stick to the middle.
No, I mean, my inclination in this situation, if I was sitting on Munich right now, I would have gone down to Venice. Because then you can gum up that entire section of railroad that comes from Vienna down to the northern part of Italy there with just random event cards. I don't know. I don't know what value there would be in that per se, but like, I mean, I like getting into hard to reach locations by the hunters because they've failed to blockade me in, right? Like, maybe it's just me, but going to Rome and then kind of puddle jumping over to Cagliari and dropping a vampire there is a huge headache.
Yeah. Yep, it does.
I mean, yes. But on the one hand, it's kind of like rather announcing that that's the case. I think what's happened here is Klausenberg, Budapest, Hyde, or Zagreb, and then Vienna. And now
Budapest, Hyde, Vienna, yeah. If he's in Munich right now, I'm pretty happy.
Either Hyde or Zagreb, that is.
Could it have been Zagreb? I guess.
In between, yes. Or after. I mean, he could be there now.
I'm gonna go back and go through the video and see where everyone was located. Could be. I think it could be Zagreb.
Yeah, Zagreb can totally be on the trail.
Yep.
All right, got our fangs this time. But Sura's looking to fight. Apparently.
No, it couldn't be.
Either that or
Seward might have been on Zagreb.
I'm always a bit sketchy about throwing Fangs out with a Reckless on the first go, especially against Seward. Like, not that dude can pack like a serious amount of heat.
for my part, it always depends on what other stuff I have. Like, like if I have another Fangs,
Okay.
I will almost always go for the first one.
That's a win.
That's
You get
definitely
the point.
Yeah, he's on the board.
Now you got to keep this vamp alive. You need a strength and then an escape as mist or something.
either that or a Mesmerize would do the job too.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, and chances are high that he has one or the other.
Both crucifixes are gone, so escape as mist is safe.
Yeah, so let's take a closer look at the discard. Yes.
Okay.
Mez to dodge. Okay.
Now, if
Now
you have
strength
and escape, you can strength just for fun. And if he uses a heavenly host, so be it. Or you can just escape as mist. Either way, I'm happy.
I think, if I had a choice as to what to do, on exactly what to do, I would, I think it would likely be strength, but...
Yeah, and that's what he was thinking too.
Okay.
Escape. Okay. Easy. No harm done.
Well, not no harm done, as it is at half health for the next fight. So
No harm done. No harm
Yeah.
done to Seward from the strength.
Yeah, I mean the hunters did a pretty good job there concealing majority of what was in his hand. So
yeah,
to speak.
yeah. When it comes to showing a knife, basically Dracula knows to you should expect a knife on everyone but Van Helsing, basically.
Yeah.
They're laughing about the fact that's possibly the same vamp that was in Varna.
Oh, I can almost guarantee it exactly is.
Potentially. It can't always. He could have always had two in his hand.
You know, growing up, that vamp was told, "Go west, young man," and west he has gone.
Yeah.
So, if I'm Andrezot, I think I move one more space and then Wolf, maybe? Or maybe just keep regular moving.
Oh, new vamp.
So many vamps.
Oh.
And Mina just searched, and man, he's got to be kicking himself wishing he still had that seduction.
Yeah.
Yep.
But maybe you can make up for it by killing Mina here. Oh, no, I'm sorry, this is day combat, excuse me.
Yeah,
there's...
there is the potential situation of fanging a heavenly host, but I seriously doubt that will happen.
Wait,
Yeah.
this was a search, though, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
I mean, who do you think he's playing against? Strider? Strider is the type of guy who will throw a friggin' who will throw a heavenly host as Mina as the first combat card. I mean, dude is reckless as all heck.
It's
because of him that I sometimes lead Fangs first. Just...
for those who may not follow, in the most recent World League Championship tournament, we had the Strider. You had to Skybreaker had to play Strider for 3 different rounds, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, so he had to play 6 games in the league phase, and so Sears got the stake to but wanted to try to just take it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Strider always did some really wild and crazy things, and then I thought to myself, you know what? I'll be as unpredictable.
Yeah.
You guys think there's a vamp under the rumor joke, or you think it's bait?
That is a good question. Honestly, I would just let the new vampire mature. Wipe the rest of the trail. Go after him. Give him 3 points. Sure. Make him have to choose whether or not to do that or lair it.
But what if he doesn't mature the new vamp and he tries to mature the rumor token? Do you check the rumor token first and then go with that plan?
That is definitely a good point. But,
I guess you check it with LG because it's sort of on the way west.
Yeah, I would first send it Gul'daming there, check it out. If it's,
Actually, I guess it's equally inconvenient for both of them, kind of.
No, because Gul'daming gets a full 2 move, whereas I suppose whichever one doesn't. Okay, yeah, that'll be the wolf form.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
Now is the time to skedaddle.
Yeah, that is likely from Munich. But the thing is, Zagreb would be just as, if not possibly slightly more. Like, where is he?
I get it. You could go to Zagreb. That might be a slightly better wolf form location, but Zagreb, there's some chance that you could get doubled up on. I get it. A little bit more small C conservative to wolf now.
Newspaper, okay. So he had it, but he didn't need it at first. So,
he didn't need it at that point either. So I'm going to take that as a win for Andrezot, just because there might have been a situation where the newspaper would be useful later. Probably not.
Snuff, do keep in mind that it's very easy with 3 minds put together in the commentator's booth, but 1 mind under tournament atmosphere pressure is another thing entirely.
No, that's true. And additionally to that, maybe he decided to burn the newspaper for a slight benefit or maybe peace of mind, so that when on a future turn he wouldn't have to discard it after a supply. Because the last thing you want to do is waste an event card because you can't play it or you don't play it, right? Watch the video I uploaded. So shameless self-promotion there. I drew 3 newspapers, and 2 of them I held on to for a majority of the game because I felt that I was going to need them later. And I kept drawing into cards where I'm like, oh, I don't need this if I have that.
Planned ambush. Oh, I would not have ambush in the first place. I
agree.
Yeah. When it's a day fight, especially, you are just letting them have the day fight without delaying. Without Mina having to search. She gets delayed, so it's the same effect. But provoking the fight yourself is definitely not the wisest thing to do. It's also just good form for other times when, like, for instance, when it's Mina, that's the second one that walks on. I
wonder if he thought there was another stake.
He knows so because Gul'daming had it for the one that got returned for the one in Varna, but since it got returned to hand, the stake didn't get consumed.
Right.
So he actually knows that there is one. So I suppose that's why.
Good strength against the rifle.
Yeah, let's see what
now the downside is if this vamp dies, then Gul'daming could use the stake on Klausenberg if Klausenberg is a vamp.
Yeah, although I would say if 2-on-1 with a planned ambush, I would say that's pretty. I will be very surprised if it doesn't.
Now that's interesting. Why throw a heavenly host if you have a stake available?
Because it's not the rumored one, and in this case you can 2v1 it, whereas the next one may be a reckless where you can't take advantage. Yeah, take advantage of the fact that you can just do this the old-fashioned way, while Okay, yeah. Mina showing a knife. Hardly a surprise. Then Godalming. Punch. Okay. So.
Okay. So now what do you do?
I don't. Well, actually.
Wait, so Godalming is horse, stake, and the heavenly host?
Apparently, that was. So he actually doesn't have any offensive thing to do. If Andrezot's paying enough attention, he knows
Mina then missed.
I wouldn't count on that because there could easily be a double knife. That's not all that uncommon to see. There's still at least one more garlic card. Or wait, she showed a rifle, didn't she? So yeah. Basically.
Yeah, I think.
Nice. Yeah. That'll do it. So now he can escape as mist.
So long as he has it, which is.
So long as he has it.
Okay. Or then you could also play escape as bat against Godalming, and it wouldn't matter.
That's also true.
Actually, Mina's mesmerized, so
day
Godalming just
fight.
dodged. You could could. Oh no, I forget I said that. You couldn't fang Godalming because that'll be 3 damage between the punch and the knife. So you got escape here.
Yep.
Well played, Andrezot.
Yeah. Well played.
Love it. Fantastic. Make him burn the stake.
Well, I doubt they'll do that. More likely they'll just wait here a day after. Well, I think that it's more likely that they'll just provoke the night fight. Mina does have a rifle to protect her from round 1 claws. So, and can you think of a way that he can survive it? A rifle and a punch, a rifle or knife and a punch, round 1. Tell me, because I can't.
In that case, I figure you just break the rifle. That's probably your best move.
Yeah. So they have a guaranteed kill even with rifle. They don't need the knife. Rifle punch. So
yeah.
So I would just.
They could just both punch.
In that case, they could.
Well, then you could fang and survive to the second turn.
I suppose that's entirely plausible too. I mean, yeah.
That and also there's the fact that with Mina at 4 health, she could die in the battle due to a claw if she doesn't do rifle. So I think I would just night search it with. That's actually a good question. I suppose you night search it with Godalming, since it means Mina will be delayed by day next turn, or possibly, if you wanted to roll the dice a little, you could have Mina solo fight it. That'd be a bit risky, but.
Well, ultimately, though, I think.
Okay, so apparently Mina does not have a horse. I think, you know what? Ultimately, what I would do is I would have Godalming trade, and then I would, and then have Mina search it after trading Godalming the knife, and taking the horse, so that Mina can meet up with Seward faster, to heal faster. Meanwhile, Godalming just continues to walk along, dealing with the encounters.
He's thinking about it.
Yeah. So I would, I've given my opinion that he should trade, basically take one of Mina's weapons, preferably the knife, so that she can defend against claws aggressively. Okay, he's gonna just stake it. So that's definitely good value off of the new vamp, as that told him exactly what Mina and Godalming have. So that consumed a stake and a heavenly host. That's good value.
Yeah,
so
that's one good date. A little rough and tumble with a strapping young chap like Godalming, and then a steak dinner. What are you gonna do?
Okay. That's a strange way of putting it, but okay.
That
I did it for comedic flair, my man.
doing your best gyro impression.
Yeah. At this point, I would definitely send Gul'daming to Budapest and have Seward address Klausenberg. Because from Budapest, Gul'daming can resupply, get new items, and deal with whatever encounters there, while Seward deals with Klausenberg.
But he's got to be wondering whether or not that rumor token is actually just like a bait and switch.
Alternatively,
bad horse.
Okay.
That's thoroughbred of sin strikes again.
I think in that case, simply go to Sarajevo so that you can aim to hit Munich next turn. I don't with no items.
He must think that this is an aristocratic vampire.
Probably.
With that pause, I don't know. Probably that. Yeah, he thinks that, but that was a long pause for the aristocratic, or for the if it wasn't aristocratic.
Well, you can play head games with your opponent in this app. Like,
yeah.
You can like choose to like, as the Dracula player, just sort of sit on the don't let lead on that you don't have a valid card, and just let it sit there for a little bit, and then the player might think that you're thinking about it, and then you go nah.
Yeah,
now you're living rent free in his head.
So with Seward, you do need to get on the new trail. I think I would have him deal with Munich, and meanwhile Mina could, since she doesn't have a horse yet, she could just walk to Szeged, then walk to Budapest, have her deal with that while Gul'daming horses on faster. Oh. Well, okay.
I will say.
Well,
that horse economy. Oh boy.
He can at least check Geneva. Okay.
He could at least check Geneva.
Well,
or not.
Maybe his thought is that he went to Marseille with the wolf form. At least the railroad gives him options to go over to Bordeaux or to Marseille, depending on how he feels like approaching the trail. Either try to get ahead of Dracula or get behind him.
So
maybe Mina has a stake?
No, she has a rifle and a knife. Well, I suppose she does have one thing unaccounted for, doesn't she?
That's what I'm wondering about.
Yeah.
I will say the nice thing is if you search with Gdalming, even if it is a fighting vamp, you can just soil. Alright, I like it. I like it. The bait worked. And the thing is, I like that play because if you think it's a vamp, you're probably going to send someone there with a stake. And if you have a stake and you're not Steward, you're more likely to not have a heavenly host. And you probably have a horse, a weapon, and a stake. So I like that play, actually.
Yeah, I've actually done... well, Gul'daming already had no items other than his horse. Of course he didn't.
Well, yeah, I mean... But that's
I've done that. I've done that sort of thing myself.
Because now that Gdalming has done it and essentially triggered the thing, now they have to explore it again and give him another option of 3 more of Dracula cards.
Either that or grant him the healing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which eel
Either
do you
one
choose?
Is beneficial. Either one of those is beneficial for Jack.
Yeah,
and Mina went there too.
Okay, so she does have the host. Obviously she has the host as her third item. Otherwise, he would not have done that.
Yeah.
So, Obviously, he can remove it. Unless he just messed up, which no. Fortunately,
this is no derps here. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I can understand from a hunter's perspective why you would want to keep Dracula hurt. Giving up that mature on that desecrated soil, yeah, sure, it gives him back 3 health, but that puts him back at full.
Mm-hmm.
Any damage that you can get that sticks later on, it's going to wear him down, right?
Yeah. This is going to...
Ooh. What if, since we're getting to the bottom of the deck, what if... What would be nice right now is a double fog in Marseille. Then you can feed, then start going around with your trail. Maybe you can trap 2 of them.
It doesn't have to be exclusively at Marseille. I mean, a double fog anywhere is going to be a nuisance.
You got to fix that horse economy. Holy crap. How many times is that? 3, 4? Yikes.
Yeah.
At least they probably are I'm fairly certain they probably have all the white ones. So
yeah. Otherwise,
Mina only has 1 ticket. But I think there's probably some yellow 2s in there as well somewhere.
No, not Marseille.
Nope.
Yeah, too obvious. From Munich. From Munich, I personally would probably aim. I actually would have aimed at Frankfurt, despite Van Helsing being at Cologne, because that would be the last thing he'd expect.
Yeah, and you can kind of go to Cologne right after that.
Yeah, as soon as he moves.
Or go to Florence and then bury yourself deep in Italy, and then wait for the hunters to leave, and then jump the Adriatic back to Valona.
Oh, this is gonna hurt.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Fortunately, it's Goldaming.
He can take it.
Yeah.
And he has time.
But does that not get Mina too?
It affects her,
that does
but
nothing to Mina.
But since she, and what's more, he knows that Andrezot already knows what they are. No point in holding back one of them and taking damage.
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised Randiv hasn't traded between them and had one of the 2 of them start moving to find Dracula, using the horse. Right now, that is a useless horse in Godalming. It's a waste of a horse.
I was expecting him to trade it over to Mina as well, but
that might happen tonight.
But on the other hand, in terms of what was I gonna say? I think that the reason why they did not, here it goes now. At least a trade. I imagine that Mia will give the Heavenly Host to Goldaming. I'm guessing that the horse trade didn't happen until now because, it didn't happen until, well, I'm guessing that the trade didn't happen until now because they're busy dealing with Trail, but now apparently Mina's just given her host and knife to Goldaming, so now she can stay behind, supply and heal, get more events. He has a trash long night to throw away. Hopefully he'll find something along the lines of newspaper, scouts, etc. to find exactly where this wolf form is. So,
if we do start seeing more searches, more supplies, it might create a situation where Drac can dark call again.
It might. But
that might be useful in this situation.
Hmm. I'm not sure whether I would do that. I mean, if for instance they do that happens like tonight, then probably, then I suppose I definitely might, considering, oh.
That's odd.
Checking he did misdirect that. He.
I mean, it's not a bad idea to check for a double back. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. Well, that
could be helpful.
That definitely narrows it.
Random needs to really like think about what is now ruled out.
Oh god.
That actually does not tell him much after so much movement.
Seward is in the best place for that to happen. Look at how many cities it
and Helsing.
6, yeah.
And Helsing, yeah.
There's a huge choke point there. He didn't go through France. There's no way he could have gone through France.
Unfortunately, that's not true.
No.
He could have. He could be at. He actually could be in Saragossa right now.
Or Barcelona or Bordeaux.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's all sorts of. If that were local rumors, it would be a different story. But.
Yeah, I guess this is the rare occasion where local rumors might have been more useful than evil presence.
Yeah.
But considering who drew the evil presence...
what have we here? Oh, newspaper.
Okay.
Berlin. So that means he went to Leipzig. So that means he wolf-horned to Leipzig or Prague. And I would assume that it's Leipzig, considering that Prague was a potential nuke spot. But then again, going to Berlin after? That is a little bit brave. But then again, I suppose by then a heavenly host had been used, so therefore there was no chance of a nuke. It would have been a massive inconvenience, but not a nuke. Or actually, that's not true. You're not gonna. It wouldn't have been full nuke, but you could have caused an error because you can't misdirect the wolf-form spot. So you only put it everywhere but where he wolf-formed to. And then he's forced to do an error. That's the thing about those spots.
So I'm in Hamburg right now. Under a hide. I might dark call.
Yeah,
I might dark call then feed.
Now, here's an alternative suggestion, because it hasn't been mentioned. What if one of the cards he drew with the Dark Call and the Night Supply is a devilish power?
That is another good point, and there are, I think, at least two, maybe three copies of that card. I know there's at least two.
Yeah, there's at least two. I remember, and I was playing just another casual game with another player, and I went to the North Sea and then immediately went to Edinburgh because I had a devilish power card in my hand, and I knew that guy was going to try to consecrated ground me. Mm-hmm. Imagine the smug look on that guy's face if you can bait the person into using a CG when you've got a devilish power.
Yes, admittedly in Edinburgh that's extremely risky because you can only take out the main token, not the Heavenly Host tokens. But
yeah, sure. But they would have to suspect that you had that card to begin with and set it up just so. But I mean, sure. I mean, I see your point. But the first token you have to drop is the actual consecrated ground token. Then you have to reveal the heavenly hosts, right? Yes. It would be extraordinarily bad if the person thought, if you're in Edinburgh, I'll put the consecrated ground in London, and then just fill up the rest of the spaces with like heavenly host tokens.
Well, if they know you're in the North Sea, which, depending on how closely they're following your trail, I could definitely see that being a thing. Like, I could definitely see that being a thing in the case of like if you had come in from a journey, like say you had gone to Spain and then you went to like South Atlantic, North Sea, and then you could do that. But like like a 1 sea jump, that would be a tad too obvious for me.
Mm-hmm.
Gracious.
Forces strike again.
Yeah.
Thoroughbred is sin.
I've always liked to think of this game as the hunters have a trifecta that they need to have solved at all times to be as efficient as they can be. They have to get their logistics in order, right? So they have to be able to move. They have to be healthy enough to deal with any fights and encounters that they meet along the way, and they have to have the adequate equipment. If any of those three fail, it's just going to be miserable. And they still haven't figured out their logistical portion yet. They just haven't got that last pesky rail ticket out of the mix.
Well, there's at least 2 1 tickets in there.
Yeah.
Considering that to me it doesn't have any tickets.
Now, do you risk a feed here if you're in Hamburg? Would you leave immediately? I think you take the feed.
Whoa, that was close.
Especially now.
Okay, with Gul'dani, I was going to say no, thinking of renewed vigor plus 4 warned, but with Gul'dani delayed, well, Seward is actually just as close. It may not look it, but you can go Strasbourg into Cologne. So he's actually just as close as Gul'dani is. And a 2v1, or just renewed vigor and get a good horse roll gets you to Hamburg. So, with under a renewed vigor, yeah, and then also there's also Mina is still a threat actually, up in Hamburg. She can charter carriage there without renewed vigor. So I think that it would definitely be risky, but you would be at 13 HP. If you have Enraged, perhaps you do it, as there are 2 Drac events to take into consideration. He
feeds.
Well,
I guess it makes it more likely that at least one is a Spog.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of just signals it's... Yeah. He's obviously very comfortable hiding underneath those cards.
I mean, you can also just bluff. I mean, I've done a feed with people nearby under... I think it was just nothing but... I think one of them was a hoax. One of them was a hoax and the other was a mob or something. What with me or bats, I think. I mean, you can always just pretend to have it in that manner.
Okay, what was Leipzig?
Yeah, I mean, that was the guarantee. Well, no, not quite. There was Prague.
Well,
but
a bluff is only as good as a person's unwillingness to call it, though. And I don't know. In this situation, I'm fairly certain that because we haven't seen a single fog card come out yet, he's cycled through most of the event cards. He's bound to have
the entire. In fact, it just reshuffled. He's guaranteed to have both, or at least either on the trail or in his hand.
Yeah. So.
Okay. I wouldn't try a 1v1 if I were you, man. I hope he's going to Berlin. Good.
Makes sense. And for Andrezot, I mean, I think it's probably good that they are. Well, I mean, if these are delaying things, maybe Andrezot could move, and then wolf form.
Well, he can wolf form this turn if he so wishes.
Yeah, I think he's been waiting for that wolf form to slide off the trail. I think maybe, and I don't want to presume here, Andrezot might have just been like thinking to himself, okay, well, I'll wait for the wolf form to come back, go to the North Sea, go to the English Channel, then maybe wolf form over to Swansea, and then you can and just sit around in that Liverpool area, hide, they can consecrated ground like the crap out of England. They'll only push you into the sea. You only take 2 damage, but he's not doing too bad for health right now.
Can we take a quick pause real quick, because Scott sort of just noted that the other game between Terminus and Adam Azagal just ended. Aristocratic, okay. I just want to tell Scott sort of a few of the highlights of this game. There was a start in Varna. It was found immediately with hired scouts. There was an immediate dark call at the beginning. Okay.
Okay. 2 and 1.
And Mina was going for the vamp in Varna, but got batted in Sophia. And there was a trade with Godalming to get the stake, and then Godalming staked the vamp, but there was seduction. So Mina could have been killed with seduction, but for the fact that she got batted. So now Godalming has a bite because of seduction, which I think is kind of interesting.
Yeah, and Drek still has 2 cards. One of them due to an accidental night supply.
The other due to the most recent dark call in Hamburg.
Yeah, we know. Yeah, we know his exactly where he is. I would assume that he will likely go to sea. I would go 2 sea spaces, and honestly, I might be tempted to do North Atlantic to like.
And then Wolf form to 47.
That would be a tad too obvious. I would likely, depending on how the hunters, on exactly the position of the hunters, I would be tempted to do Clermont-Ferrand. Oh, yes, he's moved to Cologne. That, I think, if there's a renewed vigor, now's the time to do it. Because keep in mind, we do have Aggie in play as well. So
I don't think I don't hate that move either, because Seward is delayed.
Yeah.
And Mina's still too far away to be a bit of a nuisance. And I think Godalming is... I mean, can he get to Cologne?
If there's a renewed vigor, he can.
He has 1 face down event, so he could get there with a sense of emergency.
Sense of emergency, charred carriage.
Or renewed vigor. Or charter carriage.
Yeah.
Or even a 3 ticket. 3 ticket would do it.
Simply a 3 ticket would do it. So honestly, I honestly don't like it. If Aggie wasn't in play, a 2v1 wouldn't be that concerning to me. But with Aggie, that makes things speed telegraph.
I don't see the point of that.
I mean, if he has an RV.
Oh, there's an RV next. Yeah, I forget I said that. Long night. Is there an RV?
President's waiting for me to show something. Since that came from her. She has hypnosis. That's nice to know.
Maybe it's his intention to slide Mina up and trade to Godalming first, and then move Godalming.
There's no renewed vigor though, so that.
Well,
unless you can move at night with the long night, but that's not going to be that helpful.
No, okay. Forget I scratched that. Yeah.
Keep in mind that Godalming is in range if he has a 3-2 ticket. Any ticket gets Van Helsing. I'm guessing this has to do with... honestly, Speed Telegraph also has purpose for forewarned reasons. It's possible that that's what's going on.
So here...
Yeah, but in that case, let's just say you're Dracula in this situation and you see the Speedy Telegraph. Do you sandbag the ambush and wait for the second hunter to come along if you suspect that they're going to forewarn your event or
There's
encounter?
There's a pause there. Well, I guess you can decide what to do. So, Drac might want to try to escape his bat here in this 1v1.
Well, it may not be a 1v1. Keep in mind that Godalming has not yet made his move.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry.
And, well, I mean, let's just hope for, his...
Consecrated ground.
And he does have an escape route. So, honestly, I would actually just play CG this turn. Blockade Amsterdam, Brussels, And
we need to play CG at night.
And if you in other words, I mean today, he has an escape route to avoid the combats, and he has an escape route to avoid the combats. He has a hide at Hamburg that will prevent him going back there. Oh,
the horses failed him again.
Well, if he moves to Nuremberg, that's not that bad because, if there's full power CG, he'll actually be forced onto Leipzig if there's a full power one, which there isn't. There's one in the discard. So, best case scenario, they blockade Amsterdam, Brussels, and Strasbourg. Which, since they haven't discarded any others, it is highly likely that they can. Especially if Mia supplies this, then we guarantee have all three, or rather the remaining two. So I would actually just play that tonight.
So I think but the problem here is I think this is going to make it all the more important for Andrezot to try to arrange a. Oh, was there an escape route?
Yes.
Oh, forget I said that.
Like I said, he can escape her and then he can play CG.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Andrezot is going to have to go to Berlin, I guess.
Frankfurt. No. He does have that wolf form.
I'm assuming Frankfurt gets covered by a token.
No, there's one in the discard, keep in mind, so he can only block 3 spots. And he would definitely block Brussels and Strasbourg first.
Yep, makes sense.
That would keep him contained up here in the northeast. He can't go back to Hamburg because that's where he hid, and so he can't misdirect it. He can lair Berlin and then go there with a wolf form.
Yeah, but surely you don't want him in Amsterdam.
Yes, that is definitely where... actually, you put the primary CG token there, because even worse would be him wolf forming away like through Brussels or Strasbourg, because then he could wolf form to Le Havre, and then it doesn't matter that you blocked him before, he's going to a 1 anyway. In fact, arguably a better port for him, since that has more obfuscation for the second C move, if there is one. Didn't play it, though. I would have gone...
Is that a mistake?
I think so. Because now he can wolf form through Strasbourg, through Brussels.
Yeah, I think now you're getting to the point where
there is a hypnosis, keep in mind.
So now do you wolf to Le Havre and then go to C? That seems like the most obvious move.
Yeah, but since... If they had played CG and you had played a Devilish Power to be able to go there, then I would say yes. But since they still have CG in their back pocket, they can mess with you going to England. And they do also have hypnosis to sense where you go at the end of your sea voyage. So
if you have Devilish Power, do you go to Britannia anyway in this situation?
Possibly, yes.
Well, I mean, as we discussed earlier, as long as you don't go via Edinburgh, you would have to wolf form onto at least into Manchester from there, or come up through the English Channel and then go over to Swansea or...
you could just casual land in London and still be fine.
Yeah, that's true too. You could casually land in London as well.
Yeah, if you went to Le Havre and then you went straight over and you just landed in London. Because then, if you kill some time there, you could do another sea voyage and, stay alive a little longer.
And speaking about time, we are getting close. Oh, that's a different...
These horses, the thoroughbred of sin keeps nabbing win after win after win.
I told you, friend Godalming, get Arabians, not Clydesdales. Yeah.
In any event,
Depart is langsam.
since you did mention time, it is important to note that we are in Thursday of week 3. So, they are definitely running out of time. Mind you, the influence track is only 1, so... Do you just ignore Hamburg, knowing that that's what it is? Hamburg with a hide? Because chances are it's going to be a bats, fog, something or another.
Guess not.
I would definitely consider that.
Fog, okay.
Yeah, but the fog was on the hide.
Oh, nope.
Burning a forewarned, that's useful.
Which that is definitely... But that's very important for the hunters, because now Seward could, excellent weather across if he chooses to go there.
I think it's important that the hunters have to deal with Hamburg now, because if it is a vampire, it wipes away so much useful stuff.
Agreed, yeah. I think, as Van Helsing, for Van Helsing, I would... he traded some event off of someone last night, so, and it's also keep in mind that the hunters do have Vampire Lair in their back pocket. Oh,
okay, you found him.
Yeah.
Knock on wood, it's not like another fog.
There's the other fog, but that is not as bad since you forewarned the one up at Hamburg. You do have your way to get there.
Yeah.
Especially, and, as previously mentioned, Stewart could have an excellent weather. So, honestly, I would just stay on land. That may sound weird, but with Van Helsing fogged, and therefore stuck for at least next turn, you could sending Mina to check it, so that in the event it's a hoax, something like a hoax, Seward isn't. I'm guessing that Mina has a stake. After all, there is still. Wait, no. Okay, apparently all those are accounted for. Never mind. But I'm guessing he doesn't want Seward to be delayed by searching a hoax. And also, he has hypnosis, so obviously you don't play that now. That'd be kind of dumb.
Ooh.
It was a vampire. You see, that's what I was afraid of.
Okay.
So now they're gonna go 2v1 against this vampire, but this could be dangerous for.
Well,
I think I just try to break stuff. Breaking stuff helps keep the vamp alive, and it makes it harder for them to kill Dracula later.
I wonder if he's running that.
I don't think
song. Give me something to break.
I don't think I'd try to kill a hunter here. Yeah, maybe you get lucky and avoid Mina's rifle, and you get two claws in her. Maybe you
might try
her and bite her, but
I'm not sure what I would do here, because I think what I would do is I would try to hit a Heavenly Host, because you know that they do have CG.
I know. I kind of feel in this situation you got to lead with strength first.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I'm not saying I would.
Mina could have bullets to the rifle as well, so she was supplying late.
Okay, punch, good.
Not great. I'd rather mesmerize Mina than Seward, if that's the best card you got.
Oh, is this a Holy Bullets?
Uh-oh.
I don't know if it can.
Bing, ding, ding. Free kill.
That could not have been worse.
Points for Randiv.
Yep. Hate to say it, credit where it's due.
That's as clean as you can get. It's not every day you see that. I imagine Peace was just going ecstatic in chat. after seeing that one. And out of curiosity, I'm actually curious that as to I actually would have after springing the fog on Van Helsing, I actually would have gone into combat with him.
Yeah, that I don't disagree with that either.
Maybe afraid of whatever was traded to Helsing.
Possibly.
I don't know.
Okay, well that's C move. So now both Mina and Seward, can immediately set sail.
They both have one event though, and there's still more than half the deck that hasn't been gone through yet.
One unknown event to be precise.
Yes.
I think that
one event that could be EW.
I think that I would likely move Seward, but I would have Mina supply. You gotta leave someone behind for if he goes North Sea and then comes back. And Gul'daman could fulfill that role, yes, but Mina also spent an item, so I think she should stay in supply one turn. Yeah, this is a turn where the hunters really have nothing in particular to do apart from, Gul'daman can move to get to, like, possibly Brussels, possibly Amsterdam, Brussels, Nantes maybe, cover the west coast with him. And then I would have Seward move to C to, like, pressure him, and have Mina supply. Obviously, Helsing supplies since he's fogged, so nothing else to do. So okay, I don't mind staying one day with Seward to supply either. That gets another event. You can... Oh, okay. That would have been nice a little bit later.
I'm good with that draw.
Yeah, that's actually the third proxy events we have drawn now. Wait, no, that's actually all four now. Both local rooms and both heal presence have been drawn. So, I suppose that he possibly wants Seward to... They also are wanting to dig up the third Heavenly Host from the discard. Is what they're doing.
So if I have Devilish Power, I think I'm definitely going to London right now. If I have Devilish Power.
I mean, if you don't, you still could try, because, after all, there was, until just a moment ago, a Heavenly Host in the discard, and it's a 1 in 26 that they drew. It's a 2 out of 26 chance that they drew it. Well, first a 1 in 26 and then a 1 in 25, whatever percentage that is. I don't know. To put it simply,
I'd still be worried that they go
chance.
for it. I'd be worried that they go for it and I get caught in the hotel if I don't have Devilish Power.
Yeah, 1 in 25 is a 4% chance.
Yeah, that one. But the 1 in 26 and the overall percentage between the two is a different matter.
Right. Yeah, and I guess that really all depends. Do you have the old days when I used to do statistics. I think the term is called a hypergeometric calculator. Scott Sword did an entire video, and he called himself a nerd because he did that. The Homer Simpson meme. You know what it is. If you saw the video, you know what it is. But essentially, it's just a fancy statistics term that basically tries to calculate the odds of drawing a specific occurrence out of a pool of occurrences as the pool of occurrences starts diminishing.
Okay, yeah,
Math.
we're working on tickets. Definitely a respectable move.
That's definitely needed on the hunter side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm really hoping we have Devilish Power, because it would be so much better if you could just start moving and killing time in Britannia right now. Play your feed now. Play, you know, go to Swansea, hang out, kill some time, then start
Yeah.
Well,
going to Fury mode.
he
looks-
landed
He does.
He landed.
either Plymouth or London. I doubt he'd land in Plymouth though.
Oh, summon
He
storms.
summoned storms.
Oh, ho ho.
That's respectable.
Yeah.
Now all he needs is a.
But only if he has Devilish Power, though. He needs to have that Devilish Power, otherwise he's going in the hotel, and the storms don't matter.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, simply supply with everyone this turn. And you can't move by sea, so just supply. Try to dig up that third host, and then try so that you can potentially force him off, or oh, here's something good. Put the first initial token in Plymouth, so he's forced to. So even if he has devilish power, he's forced to move there. And then after that, or I suppose making it so that he's simply in London. Actually, well, no.
Well, in this instance, if he had devilish power, and he puts the token in Plymouth, and forces him to devilish power to Plymouth, he could still misdirect London and go back. It's not going to hurt him too badly. I think what you would rather do in this case is put the actual CG token actually on London and force him to stay still.
Yeah, so then he would be forced to hide with no encounter dark call feed for a turn, which honestly in this case, looking at the top of the deck, it may turn out to be a dark call.
Yeah, well, in this situation as it stands right now, dark call is going to get pushed off the trail by his next action, so he'll have it available to play. Forcing him to stay still, at least either he'll play a hide with no benefit, which I doubt he'd to do, or he'll play the dark call, and it's not as beneficial to dark call now that the top card of this is a hunter.
Yeah. So, I think it's correct to play CG regardless of whether you found the third Earth host or not. Put the permanent one in London and then do Manchester and Swansea if you don't have the third one.
Right. And devilish power would make that a non-issue for Drac. If there is no devilish power, Drac has to go to Plymouth and then is stuck there until he takes damage.
Stuck there until wolf form comes off. Wait, no. If he doesn't have devilish,
nope.
No.
Until he has to take 5 damage.
Scratch that. Yeah. Scratch that.
Yeah. he won't get the opportunity to get his wolf form back. But surely,
not that it would matter, because if he doesn't, we're saying on the assumption that he doesn't have devilish power.
Make or break moment right here. We need that devilish power.
Okay, reckless vampire.
Yep.
So.
Excuse me.
But surely Andrezot would have seen this coming.
Yes, I would assume so. But they do not have the third one. But
so he can go to Liverpool?
No, you can't go through the tokens.
Oh, right. Never mind.
Okay, yep.
Devilish power, yes!
Yep.
Well done! Okay.
I mean, he is still a little bit confined.
You need to play the dark call. Or hide.
Yeah, I would do the hide.
I don't think I would have done the hide just because you might be able to go to Swansea and then get some of your fury points. Oh, I guess now it doesn't really matter because he's going to stay in Britannia. Forget I said that. No, hide's right. Forget I said that.
Yeah, now is the time Now is the time for your compatriot to actually put the foot down and just burn rubber.
It's really the perfect combination. Those synthesize so well. Ugh. Chef's kiss. Well done, Andrezot. You are the GOAT. All right, let's keep this going.
Oh, Goldaming has excellent weather, so that narrows down how much time he has before things get sticky again.
So it was going to go North Atlantic Irish Sea?
Yes. I would assume so, at least.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously, after one more move, that he'll start scoring points. So honestly, I would actually feed Nexus Drac. May seem strange, but feed just before you move into week 4.
Andrezot seems to be a bit confused about the hide interaction. I don't think he realized that the consecrated ground token revealed London so that his hide was with no benefit. I think he might have made kind of like a quick little rookie blunder there, expecting that hide was going to give him some benefit.
Not so.
Yes.
Well, his only other option was a Dark Hole or go to Plymouth, and at Plymouth he would have had to misdirect his Reckless. So, honestly, I think it is the correct move, even though you don't get the encounter. So it's not as if it's hurting him. So it's not exactly as if it's hurting him.
Even though he clearly does think he should have gotten to put an encounter down, which he was not supposed to. He was not supposed to be able to put an encounter down. But it's fine. He's at a good spot.
I
agree.
I think he was just a little disappointed that he didn't get the extra benefit.
Yeah. One thing that would be good for Randiv is presumably he's going to lift the English Channel Storm next. Yes.
Yeah, if there was a storm token I had to pick up next, it would definitely be the English Channel.
Yeah, because what if the here's the thing. Since it happens at dusk, Van Helsing and he chooses the channel, Van Helsing will be able to just snatch excellent weather off of whoever has it, unless it's Goldaming that had both excellent weathers, which would be kind of dumb. So I doubt that would be the case. So now Van Helsing, if there is a second excellent weather on Mina or Seward, he could just snatch that, and there'll be 200s in England next before the day is out. The next day is out, that is.
So here's an interesting hypothetical for you then. Do you go to Swansea and hide under something like another vampire and hope Godalming drops on you? Or do you just decide to go to Manchester?
I don't know. Mind you, if there is a second excellent weather that Van Helsing picks up, that could be a potential 2v1, and Randiv knows that there is no more fog. That's just... Unless there ends up being some desecrated soil action, there won't be any more fog for the rest of the game. I am almost certain.
Yeah,
I mean, I suppose towards the end there might be, due to layer cycling, I suppose.
The saving grace he has is that at least that reckless vampire is still in London, which it might pose a problem for Van Helsing.
That is true. And it could get him a point or two. But keep in mind that, and let's also, but keep in mind that for the longest time, ever since he got bitten in Varna, Goldang's been displaying Vampire Lair. So keep in mind that point is might as well be non-existent, and the next one that he gets. So he needs 15 influence, not 13. Let's remember that.
Does Godalming still have a stake? I mean, I know the stakes have refreshed.
It can be traded.
It could be traded around if need be.
Mina's showing money trail. That's also a problem.
Yeah. Because eventually it will be too dangerous, especially with Aggie as the ally. It will be too dangerous for him to stay around for the rest of the game. So, I think I would feed here because we are just about to go into the third week, and fourth week. Sorry, an RV here could be a deadly win because Golem could land and then horse onto whichever. If he misses, he can horse onto the other one. So, and well, Van Helsing, in the event he has the excellent weather, could then just follow suit. Get ambushed by the Reckless, yes, but it's a 2v1 with Aggie. 10 health, yes, but Aggie would whittle you down, and you're going to be forced to sea eventually, where you'll take more damage. So, honestly, Randiv still has quite a legitimate chance. The
he's
CG...
not out of this by any stretch.
Yeah, the CG still served a good purpose. It drilled all the... that drilled all the Drac events out of him. Because... What was the other one he played? Yeah, remember... This play, using Summons Storms, it potentially could have been saved he could have done that as a bluff and gone elsewhere I
don't know if it would have been a good bluff, though, because of wasn't Hypnosis still around?
Yeah, true. Fair point. Definitely a fair point there.
Where does Godalming go? Because the thing is, a 1v1 versus Godalming is risky, but could turn out well. You could fang the Heavenly Host. You could break the weapon.
I don't think he has one. He spent his earlier, I think, and he hasn't been supplying, so he actually doesn't have one. He has
even better. You could wait for a punch, mesmerize.
Another Reckless. All right.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah, that was the gamble. I mean, here's the thing: if Godalming botches this combat, then Dracula escapes to the Irish Sea, spends a little bit of time on the open ocean, and then lands and hopefully salvages something out of this.
Well, the problem with that is that there is money trail, so you won't be able to play any tricks on the hunters in that regard. The best you could do is choose a sea where you have a lot of different options, like Med Sea, Wolf Form, for instance. I mean, North Sea Wolf Form would also be like a bit interesting. Although I suppose not with Mina there. She could simply do a normal scan. No need for hypnosis. Okay.
Mesmerized?
Yeah,
yep.
Good mesmerized.
Typical ambush.
Now what do you do? Plot? Strength? Guessing game.
Seeing how Randiv has been playing, I'm expecting a punch.
I've been kind of curious. Like, what item does Godalming still have left?
I believe that we know he has a knife. Actually, I think I know exactly what he has. You remember back in Budapest when they had finished dealing with that trail? You recall what happened?
Oh gosh, it was only a little while ago.
Plot.
Yep.
Oh yeah. No.
What happened? You recall that Golden was out of items, but Mina traded her items to him, which at the time was a rifle and a knife. So if Andrezot is paying enough attention, he knows exactly what Goldoming has.
So he should either play strength here.
Okay, knife. Yep.
Yeah.
Good work, Andrezot. Yeah.
Well, thankfully that mesmerize lowered the damage.
Yeah.
He's going to get another shot at this.
Bang again?
It's probably going to be a dodge. I think.
Yeah,
I think dodge.
I would do dodge next. Agreed, because plotting versus turn round 4 dodge makes like no difference whatsoever in terms of how much damage you get out of it. Because then they just play escape and then do a normal dodge. Okay. Alright. Sure.
Now we need a strength, preferably 2 strengths.
I think most likely we're going to have a dodge on Goldoming's side now. Because now plotting wouldn't make the slightest bit of difference. He just dodges the knives.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Okay.
Yep.
Unfortunate combat here for my boy Andrezot.
Yeah.
Maybe a card issue. Maybe just bad guessing.
Yeah, well, then this last card really doesn't
with this kind of thing, if you miss the first one, if you misguess the plotting versus the dodge versus punch in round 2, then you're in a bit of a pickle. Escape his bats? I don't think so.
I don't understand that.
Maybe it's the only option he had. Like, maybe he only had escape his bats in his hand and nothing else that would have mattered.
I think he had something else on the last combat round.
Like,
so well done. So
what had it?
Well done to Randiv. But let's keep in mind that Goldoming is bitten, so there is that hazard. It doesn't matter how healthy he is right now.
That's true. And it's a lot easier to finagle a bite in a circumstance like this, where, like, as soon as you see the knife, okay, now you know you can fang for free, since you know he has a rifle and a knife.
Well, let's keep in mind that he may not remember that. There have been a lot of people supplying now and then. There have been a lot of people supplying lately, so he may forget the fact that Goldoming is not one of those that has been done so.
Yeah, this is going to be really critical, because if you do get the bite and Goldoming dies, you know, he's going to Spain, which is kind of annoying, but you can stay in Britain a lot more safely that way.
Yeah, a lot longer. But then you'd have to face the force of Van Helsing and Seward together. And possibly even Mina, too. Goldoming does have Aggie to help him with this. And think about this. What if that last card is Heroic Leap?
I was just thinking the same thing. That'd be a terrible time for a Heroic Leap.
Yeah, I agree.
That would be
awful.
The dream situation for the hunters.
The saving grace that Andrezot would have in that scenario, though, is that at least his feed card hasn't been played.
That is true. So it would in effect only do 2 damage. But damage is damage.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
So, trading with Seward, interesting. I likely would have moved into the channel instead. I think
even if you're getting Seward ready to go with an excellent weather,
and I can see it, especially if you have a renewed vigor, and Seward is more deftly armed.
Especially if this is a Heroic Leap.
Okay.
Heroic Leap, then excellent weather over would be bad.
Okay. No combat event.
Okay.
Alright, so it's just a standard 1v1, except with the exception of Aggie being present to give her assistance.
Strength first or Mez first?
I think that he may well Fang first, forgetting that there's no HH in this fight. It's possible.
Well, hope it's not that.
I mean, if Andrezot knows, I would guess. I think that you should start with a Mez, but expect to get punched. I I would actually start. I would actually lead with a claws. Actually.
Yeah. Well, here's my take. Right. If you don't have a strength, play claws.
Right. Okay.
Oh.
Oh, there is a heavenly host.
Apparently, I was
We're
mistaken.
wrong.
But that is very good news for Randiv, and there's no healing via fangs. So.
Oof.
So
yeah,
the only
thing. If he had fangs, that would have been pretty bad for Godalming.
Yeah, that would have sent him to hospital. I mean, the only consolation being that he wouldn't heal off of the fangs due to Aggie.
Yeah, you'd break even, but still, at least you're not getting 4 damage to the face. You know?
Yeah. Oh. Is it gonna end here now? That would be very impressive, if I do say so myself.
Oof. Oh, Andrezot, we were all rooting for you, bud, and then suddenly you had an unfortunate series of events.
Not over, but yeah, this has been a tough combat. Because if he can keep his health here, he can feed. Give it another shot tomorrow.
The problem with feed is that it doesn't give you any influence.
Or maybe you go to
I think that you might
Liverpool, then feed.
I think go to Liverpool, plant a desecrated soil, since you now know that there's likely only one heavenly host kicking around, and then just leave. Go to Ireland since CG is gone. Get it.
Still a factor.
Well, okay. Wow. Real good for Randiv.
Well played, Randiv. I hate to admit it.
Yeah, well played. I mean, it was definitely well played. The whole using for Andrezot, your praise definitely comes through orchestrating your Drac events to be able to come here in the first place. And that's got CG out of your way for when you leave here. So, I think what I would likely do is, we only seen one desecrated soil, so there's a reasonable chance that he has another. He may have filtered it out of his hand, not wanting it, but I would drop a desecrated soil, then just leave, because you can snag. That would put you up to 4. Ireland by the time you finish with Ireland, finish in Ireland, like stopping one turn for a feed there, you would go up to you get 6 more points up to 10. I mean, they will likely play a Vampire Lair to drop you down to 8, but then you can, after that, go to North Atlantic and then Wolf form and hope that they miss you. And it's not looking good for Andrezot. I will. That combat may well have decided the game. I mean, it hasn't yet, but and it's likely gonna. It will likely be a low IDS win if it is a win. We don't know for sure yet that it is one.
I also wonder who's gonna take care of the vamp in London.
That is also a good point.
Because Helsing has been hanging out in Le Havre, so he hasn't been enjoying a stake. Godalming doesn't have a stake. Seward or Mita could have a stake, but they want to be, particularly Seward wants to be the one fighting Drac now.
And Godalming could just give chase. He took only 1 damage in that combat. So honestly, I would say just keep chasing him. He can't heal during the combats, so.
What would be ideal right now is if that card is a spy.
Okay, apparently it was a long night that Godalming had. I wouldn't have done that.
Well, here, like,
keep him guessing.
If Andrezot is hiding under a spy, then
that would definitely be very strong. Yes,
that would wreck Godalming's chances, because now all Godalming has to his name is that knife.
Actually, what I would do is horse to Manchester, then to cut Andrezot's route off.
Oh, you know what, that, yeah, oh.
Another vamp, alright.
Okay. I hope that, like, Van Helsing has something like... the ideal thing that would be Van Helsing has a lucky find. Ideally.
Mm-hmm.
Or, from Randiv's perspective, a heroic leap, of course.
Yeah, that would just seal the game.
I'm hoping that's not the case.
I mean, yeah. Van Helsing will... I mean, obviously it is... The fact that he's given chase immediately seems to say that Van Helsing now has some sort of combat event to give him. Okay. Take 2 damage. Not the worst thing. Yeah. And what's more, if you could kill Godalming, you could... That would be... that's another 5 points. And what's more, they lose the vampire lair. Ah. There it is.
He's going to try to do enough damage to make it so that Drac can't go to sea.
Yeah. And then he has to either feed or just proceed onward to Manchester. I mean, he may well...
Uh-oh.
If this is a heroic leap, it's game over.
Yeah, it is. And it... Yeah. Yeah, I think the critical mistake... If this is game over, I think the critical mistake from Andrezot was batting Mina and making it so that she missed her, seducting her. Had that happened, this could easily have gone in his favor. I mean, that would be an extra 2 points that he would have. Possibly 3, depending on exactly when the search happened. A lot more chaos in the beginning due to...
Yeah, it's hard to say that that's a critical mistake. Oh, let's see.
Alright. Moment of truth. Yep, that's game over. Well played, Randiv.
Bummer.
4...
Yeah.
Okay.
4 influence points. So
and survive. Your best shot.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll ask. Let's see if they want to join us. Aim chat. Chat.
Yeah, I think the issue with seduction at the beginning was probably a mistake, but I wouldn't call it a critical mistake. And certainly that mistake could have ended up being beneficial if we did get a bite on Godalming at the end there. That would have been great.
Andrezot, unfortunately, will not be able to join us for a post-game interview. Randiv has agreed to come. But very, very well played, Andrezot, for if you watch this back. That was definitely... You gave it your best effort. 4 influence points and Saraital 4 quickly, making this only 9 IDS for Randiv. So, a very good effort.
It was interesting. We got to see a lot of drag events, which is exactly what the promise of this tournament was supposed to be.
Yeah, there were 3 tools: Seduction, Storms, and Devilish Power. 2 Dark Calls for your stats. 2 of them, both of them drawing drag events. So, yeah. Come to EC2 in the community channel. Okay. Yeah, there's something in there, man. Hold on. So, yeah, that was a hard battle, to be sure. Both sides, it went back and forth. What can we?
And honestly, it really could have been anyone's game, because obviously, if you did bite Godalming, I mean, it would have been in the sweet spot.
Welcome, Randiv.
Hey, Randiv.
Congratulations on your win. Well played.
Congrats and damn you as Andrezot's partner, but congrats. Very well played.
Ooh. We had 2 good games like that in the last team tournament too, but they weren't recorded, so no one else knew about them. We're very evenly matched.
Glad we caught this one.
Well,
that was a climactic, really, really masterful play at the end. Climactic Godalming play.
Yeah, well done. That was gonna be tight. It would have gone. That battle there, I think, defined the won you the game, because as is obvious, there could have been a Fang to that Helios, which would have just taken Godalming out. You would have lost Vampire Lair. He would have gone. I think it wasn't quite week. Yeah, it was week 4 then, only just, but that would have given him 5 points. On him too. Yeah, so that would have flat out killed him. So he would have lost the Vampire Lair, along with everything else he had. So that was definitely a very daring move. But it worked out.
You know, Scott Sword's always talking about combats with the vampires ahead of time, like the reckless, and not revealing your weapons. I somewhat purposely revealed knife in that combat. I mean, I needed it anyway, but I was like, I knew that he knew I had a knife, and so that greatly reduced the chance that he would go for fangs.
Plus the fact that you had Aggie to help you out.
I forgot. I forgot I had Aggie. It was the first turn of the game.
Thing, right? Agatha just sort of sits there and does nothing until she does something.
Right.
But in this case, I suspect we'd have to ask Andrezot, but who sadly, as you likely saw, has to go to bed. But that likely was a deterrent that also influenced his thinking.
Right.
So that was Aggie may have played a role in the sense of being a deterrent, but I think that how this would have been much different had he not ambushed you with the bats, and let you search Varna with Mina and seducted her instead. Things would have been quite a bit different. He would have gotten an early influence, made you discard your stuff, and so on. So that could have totally changed things.
That moment was crazy because I did a hidden scouts on, and I chose Varna and Verlona. Am I thinking the right thing? And I in my head I thought it had revealed the other way around. I thought he was on the west coast of there, not on the south coast.
Oh.
And I almost went to the wrong place. I mean, that's where I was sending Mina. That's where I was going to send Mina.
I swear, I've mixed that up a couple of times myself too, and I'm like, what an idiot I am.
Yeah.
And in fact, I was moving him. You know, the thing where it asks you, "Are you sure you want to move here?" And I looked up, and and right at that moment, I saw, oh, crap! And luckily, his horses let him get to both places at once. I mean, that was just pure dumb luck.
Before you get too much in deep in the dissection, I do need to skedaddle, but it was fun. Congratulations for your victory, and well played, everybody who was involved in the game. I guess we'll see you sometime in the next week.
Okay.
Yeah. So definitely, goodbye, Skybreakers. Thank you for joining me. Especially due to the kind of rushed planning we had to do until Geo peaked up.
Oh yeah, like he was like saying, you gotta dump the file off of your phone so that you can get it uploaded, so that you can recharge your phone, so that you can delete it, so you've got space, and then you can come back here and record another.
Oh wow.
Game.
Yeah, until Geo peaked up, he peaked up that he could deal with the other match, that finished earlier. and I would want. I therefore made it easy for me to come here and record this. So thanks to Gio and Wakajuk who tackled that for us. I didn't have to choose one or the other. Yeah. But
both these were really good games.
In any event,
so I'm glad there was coverage of both.
Yes, I definitely look forward to watching the other one. But regardless, to put something of this, once again, congratulations to you, Randiv, in tying up the interns and wins with Cagliari Carbonara Special, and getting some revenge for Spencer.
I wasn't sure what had happened with him. Actually, I didn't.
Unfortunately, it's not.
On that note, I'll take my leave.
Okay.
Well.
Yeah. Yeah. In any event, for an update for future matches, tomorrow I play my match against Pizza Wizard, and then from here it's just one a day till the end of the week. So,
nice. Everybody.
Yeah.
Today,
yes. Very true. But tomorrow, yes, I have to face Pizza Wizard as Dracula, and as for that, so I'll definitely be streaming my perspective for anyone interested. And then I believe Captain Gyro is going to be stream neutral for anyone interested in that match. But once again, Randiv, congrats, and thank you everyone for watching, and see you all next time. Bye bye.